Hey, what's up? I'm Amobi Okugo, former professional soccer player turned corporate entrepreneur. Today we're going to talk about the 5 traits that give you as an athlete the best chance to go pro. The great thing about this is that these are traits that can translate not only on the field, but off the field as well. I talk a lot about how I'm going to help you grow professionally and personally. So you can take these traits and apply it to whatever you want to do in life, but we're going to stick to soccer because as a former professional soccer player turned into a corporate entrepreneur, this is what I can talk about the best. I also want to share that as I've been a coach, I've been a trainer, I've been a scout for top prospects that have gone on to go pro, whether it's at the highest level, at the collegiate level, or making their academy team. So I know a little bit, not only from my personal experience of what I've seen from teammates or my own story, but also athletes that are on the come up. So let's get right into it. So the 5 traits that will help you, or that have helped, that can help you ultimately succeed and help you go pro. First and foremost, you got to be accountable. The best athletes are willing to shoulder the responsibility and take the pressure on what it takes to make it to the next level. That means showing up in big moments in the game, being responsible for what it takes to make it to the next level, having the pressure on them from the standpoint of like willing to take the responsibility, willing to do the extra work, willing to, show up early, stay late, willing to take responsibilities if it's their fault when it comes to a loss or a mistake. And that's not saying that they're going to beat themselves up about it, but that's saying that they're accountable for their actions and that they are accountable in the sense of, I know what I've done wrong and I'm willing to do what it takes to make it right. Or I know what I need to do in order to take it to the next level, and I'm willing to be accountable for my effort to make it go pro, to make myself go pro. So they're willing to be accountable. The next one is coachable. Yes, as an athlete, you need to have a certain level of gravitas. You need to have an ego because that helps you get past the blockers that you set for yourself. But you also need to be coachable. You need to be willing to take advice from coaches, from other players, from sometimes even your parents, from other people that can see the vantage point that you may not see on the field or just in your own world. Not saying that what you think doesn't matter or you're not right, but the willingness to be coachable and to take that feedback and apply it to your skill set, your game, that's what helps the best players stay at the top level, or the young up and coming players make it to the next level. If you're not coachable, you're going to be hard to coach. You're going to be hard to be on a team. You're going to be hard to adapt to different changes in the game, and it's going to be tough to ultimately make it pro. So you have to be coachable. The third one, I talked a little bit about the ego as it pertains to being coachable, because you need to have a little bit of an ego to make it pro. You have to be confident. You have to be confident as a player. You have to trust your abilities. There's billions of players that want to go pro, but how confident are you in yourself to say that the stuff that I'm doing, the talent that I have, is going to take me above whoever else I'm competing against? If I step on the field against you, I know I'm confident in my abilities, in my work, in my skill set, that I'm going to beat you not only today, but tomorrow, next week, and the week after that. You gotta have confidence in your abilities, because there's only so much confidence that can come from your parents or your coach or your friends or your teammates. You have to have that internal drive, that internal motivation, that internal ambition, that internal confidence that on your best day, you're gonna make whatever team you try out for, that you're gonna be seen in front of any scout that comes to watch your game, that you're gonna play the best on the match day. You have to have that internal confidence. And when I talk about confidence, I'm talking about it from a humility standpoint and not like a braggadocious or a humble standpoint, because you need to have confidence from the standpoint that there's someone else that's gonna try to take your spot. There's someone else that's maybe working even more than you, but you're confident in your abilities. Not humble in the sense that you hide your talent or you hide your confidence and then you get overlooked, but also not braggadocious in the standpoint where your shit doesn't stink. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that confidence and that humility where you trust in your abilities to be seen at the highest level. The fourth one is discipline. Every athlete that's made it to the top level has, I would say, an A+ level of discipline. When it comes to discipline, it's the sacrifices of saying no. You know, you're saying no to, if you're in college, to the things that will take you off course. You're saying you're being disciplined and showing up early. So for example, I trained this kid earlier today. I could have trained any time of the day. I told him 7 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to see how disciplined he was. If he was gonna say, okay, I'm willing to show up at 7 o'clock, because that's half the battle. There's gonna be a lot of distractions on the road. I talk a lot about when you're driving, the vision is clear, the road is not. You're gonna have blind spots, you're gonna have roadblocks, you're gonna have traffic, you're gonna have all these things that are gonna try to get you off your path. Are you disciplined enough to stay the course? Are you disciplined enough to show up early? Are you disciplined enough to stay late? Are you disciplined enough to do your workouts? Are you disciplined enough to stick to your nutrition? Are you disciplined? Because that is what's gonna take you from a 12-year pro like I was to maybe a cup of coffee in the majors. You have to stay disciplined. And then the last one, when it comes to traits, the last trait is, are you proactive? When you're a top prospect, a lot of things come to you. So I was very fortunate. You know, I had agents coming to me, I had teams coming to me, but there's gonna be a point in time where that shifts, where I may not have the most leverage. I was a free agent. The script flipped on me, where I had to be proactive. But throughout my career, I've always been proactive in terms of initiating training sessions, initiating work, initiating contact. So are you proactive, taking initiative on the field? I didn't start my rookie year. I took initiative, so I made sure that I was gonna be starting by my second year, which happened. So are you proactive? I train a lot of kids. One thing I ask the parents is it you that's pushing for this training, or is it the kid that's pushing for this training? Because if the kid's not proactive in terms of wanting to get extra training, if they're not already training on their own, it doesn't make sense for me to spend time out of their parents, like spend time out of my day, spend money from their parents to force the kid to train if they're not proactively training on their own. When I was growing up, I was training in the house, breaking things. Not to say that you should break things, but if you don't have the means to a trainer, are you training on your own? Are you proactive enough? Are you proactive enough to reach out to schools to, you're not getting seen? Are you proactive enough to send those emails, to send those tapes, to reach out to agents, to reach out to teams, to take the initiative, to make the near post run, to score the goal? Are you proactive? Those are traits that you need to have to make it pro. And each trait that I talked about, being accountable, being coachable, being confident, being disciplined, being proactive, these are things that you can control. These are things that you can control. It's not from the standpoint of this player has more talent than me, or this player has more eyeballs being seen, or this player plays for a top team. That's irrelevant. Control what you can control, and then that will set you up to put you in the best position to potentially go pro. So those are the 5 traits that will help you go pro. I've seen it, I've lived it, I've experienced it as a scout, as a coach, as a trainer, as a player, as someone that's used these same traits and applied it to now my business life. So if you want to go pro, take account into these 5 traits and get to work. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you think there's other traits that, play a role that you would substitute in, let me know as well. As we always end it, the vision is clear, the road is not. Okay, you go.